Whoa, 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 whoa. Love this time of year. Wow, what a path. What's going on, Luminators? We're in the fall. The fall colors are here. Boston C here. Boston C. Hope everybody's doing well. You juggernauts, you benevolent determinators, you observers, participators. Everybody doing good? Did you go and vote? Tell anybody. No, but nobody's business who you voted for, whatever. Right? Either your team's going to win or it's not going to win. But there ain't no election or it's delayed. Right? Doesn't change your loving big love and practicing loving big. That's it. That's the play. So I'll vote for that. Go check us out. AboveTheSun.io. Learn more about P48. Philippians 4:8. What should I think about every day? Boston C. Oh, whatsoever things. True, honest, and just. You're lovely. Any good reports out there? Anything virtuous? Powerful. Right? Good news? I need to hear the bad news. Be taking all that into the cellular level, getting that in get those dust particles on you. Right? We control what comes in here, comes out here. Right? What are you looking at? Stop looking at stuff. Right? There's good news above the sun. We'll be taking in all the stuff here below the sun. It's going to sort itself out. Because benevolent determinators are everywhere. Go check Boston C out at Twitter or X at Above the Sun Life. At Above the Sun Life. You know, I'll post some stuff on stories, news. Don't go into the articles. That's your business. You want to get more info. I just like taking highlights. Staying funny. That's another thing. You gotta keep funny. Gotta keep laughing. So I'll tell you what, it's a great time to be a comedian. You don't think you're looking for material? Oh, wow. All right, I'll leave it alone. Hey, biology of belief. We're episode 8. Evolution without the bloody claws. Let's read more about this. Talking about Darwin. Though Darwin is by far the most famous evolutionist, the first scientist to establish evolution as a scientific fact was the distinguished French biologist Jean-Baptiste Lamarck. Even Ernest Mayr, the leading architect of neo-Darwinism, a modernization of Darwin's theory that incorporates 20th century molecular genetics, concedes that Lamarck was the pioneer. In his classic 1970 book, Evolution and the Diversity of Life, Mayr wrote, "It seems to me Lamarck has a much better claim to be designated the founder of the theory of evolution, as indeed he has by several French historians. He was the first author to devote an entire book primarily to the presentation of a theory of organic evolution. He was the first to present the entire system of animals as a product of evolution." Not only did Lamarck present his theory 50 years before Darwin, he offered a much less harsh theory of the mechanisms of evolution. Lamarck's theory suggested that evolution was based on an instructive, cooperative interaction among organisms in their environment that enables life forms to survive and evolve in a dynamic world. True story. His notion was that organisms acquire, and pass on adaptations necessary for their survival in a changing environment. Huh. Seems like environment has a lot to do with stuff instead of genetic determinism, huh? Interestingly, Lamarck's hypothesis about the mechanisms of evolution conform to modern cell biologists' understanding of how immune systems adapt to their environment. You're an environment. We're in an environment, right? Lamarck's theory was an early target of the church. Whoa. How's that working out? Not having a go at the church, fellow companions, and drinking the old wine way too long. Yeah, time to get a new jug of new wine. The notion that humans evolved from lower life forms was denounced as heresy. Lamarck was also scorned by his fellow scientists. Oh boy, not being liked. Lamarck was also scorned by his fellow scientists, who, as creationists, ridiculed his theories. A German development biologist, August Weismann, helped propel Lamarck into obscurity when he tried to test Lamarck's theory that organisms pass on survival-oriented traits acquired through their interaction with the environment. In one of Weismann's experiments, he cut off the tails of male and female mice and mated them. Weismann argued that if Lamarck's theory were correct, the parents should pass on their tailless state to future generations. The first generation of mice was born with tails. Weismann repeated the experiment for 21 more generations, but not one tailless mouse was born, leading Weismann to conclude that Lamarck's notion of inheritance was wrong. But Weismann's experiment was not a true test of Lamarck's theory. Lamarck suggested that such evolutionary changes could take immense periods of time. According to biographer L.J. Jordanova, in 1984, Jordanova wrote that Lamarck's theory rested on a number of propositions, including the laws governing living things have produced increasingly complex forms over immense periods of time. Weismann's 5-year experiment was clearly not long enough to test the theory. An even more fundamental flaw in his experiment is that Lamarck never argued that every change an organism experienced would take hold. Lamarck said organisms hang on to traits like tails when they need them to survive. Though Weismann didn't think the mice needed their tails, no one was asking the mice if they thought their tails were necessary for survival. Despite its obvious flaws, the study of the tailless mice helped destroy Lamarck's reputation. In fact, Lamarck has been mostly ignored or vilified. Cornell University evolutionist C.H. Waddington wrote in The Evolution of an Evolutionist, Lamarck is the only major figure in the history of biology whose name has become, to all intents and purposes, a term of abuse. Most scientists' contributions are fated to be outgrown, but very few authors have written books or written works which 2 centuries later are still rejected with indignation so intense that the skeptic may be suspect that something akin to an uneasy conscience. In point of fact, Lamarck has, I think, been somewhat unfairly judged. Okay. Well, Dr. Bruce, tell us more. Waddington wrote that these prescient words 35 years ago. Today, Lamarck's theories are being reevaluated under the weight of a body of new science that suggests that the oft-denounced biologist was not entirely wrong and the oft-lauded Darwin not entirely correct. Title of an article in the prestigious journal Science in 2000 was one of glasnost. Was Lamarck just a little bit right? Question mark. One reason some scientists are taking another look at Lamarck is that evolutionists are reminding us of the invaluable role cooperation plays in sustaining life in the biosphere. Cooperation. Are you getting that? Scientists have long noted symbiotic relationships. Oh, it sounds like above the sun, QRST, quantum relations, synergistic, symbiotic. Nice. Symbiotic relationships in nature. In Darwin's Blind Spot, British physician Frank Ryan chronicles a number of such relationships, including a yellow shrimp that gathers food while its partner, goby fish, protects it from predators, and a species of hermit crab that carries a pink anemone on top of its shell. Fish and octopuses like to feed on the hermit crabs, but when they approach this species, the anemone shoots out its brilliantly colored tentacles. Yeah, here's a couple of tentacles for you. With their microscopic batteries of poison darts. Right? With their microscopic batteries of poison darts and stings the potential predator, encouraging it to look elsewhere for its meal. The warrior anemone gets something out of the relationship as well because it eats the crab's leftover food. But today's understanding of cooperation in nature goes much deeper than the easily observable relationships. Biologists are becoming increasingly aware that animals have co-evolved and continue to coexist with diverse assemblages of microorganisms that are required for normal health and development. According to a recent article in Science called "We Get By With a Little Help from Our Little Friends," the study of these relationships is now rapidly growing a growing field called systems biology. Love it. Biology, we're in a system, let's work together, right? Love, 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 love. Send out that good energy, receive that good energy. You getting it? Ironically, in recent decades, we have been taught to wage war against the microorganisms with everything from antibacterial soap to antibiotics. But that simplistic message ignores the fact that many bacteria are essential to our health. The classic example of how humans get help from the microorganisms is the bacteria in our digestive system, which are essential to our survival. The bacteria in our stomach and intestinal tract help digest food and also enable the absorption of life-sustaining vitamins. This microbe human cooperation is the reason that the rampant use of antibiotics is detrimental to our survival. Antibiotics are indiscriminate killers. They kill bacteria that are required for our survival as efficiently as they kill harmful bacteria. Maybe don't run to that antibiotic. Let this biotic take care of business. You got a little bugaboo or something? Stop giving it a name. All right, get your rest, take care of this, and chill for a few days. All right? All right. Not having a go. Love you guys, right? But some I don't like. You can love and not like. True story. Recent advances in genome science have revealed an additional mechanism of cooperation among species. Living organisms, it turns out, actually integrate their cellular communities by sharing their genes. Imagine that. It had been thought that genes are passed on only to the progeny of an individual organism through reproduction. Now scientists realize that genes are shared not only among the individual members of a species, but also among members of different species. The sharing of genetic information via gene transfer speeds up evolution since organisms can acquire learned experiences from other organisms. How are your learned experiences? Are you learning from other organisms? I know you're getting this. Given this sharing of genes, organisms can no longer be seen as disconnected entities. There is no wall between species. Daniel Drell, manager of the Department of Energy's Microbial Genome Program, told Science, "We can no longer comfortably say what is species anymore. This sharing of information is not an accident. It's nature's method of enhancing survival of the biosphere. It's big love. Big love. It's all encoded ahead of time. Yep. True story. The recently recognized exchange of genes among individuals disperses those memories, thereby influencing the survival of all organisms that make up the community of life. Now that we are aware of this inter- and intra-species gene transfer mechanism, the dangers of genetic engineering become apparent. For example, tinkering with the genes of a tomato may not stop at that tomato, but could alter the entire biosphere in ways that we cannot foresee. Already there is a study that shows that when humans digest genetically modified foods, the artificially created genes transfer into and alter the character of the beneficial bacteria in the intestine. Similarly, gene transfer among genetically engineered agricultural crops and surrounding native species has given rise to highly resistant species deemed superweeds. Genetic engineers have never taken the reality of gene transfer into consideration when they have introduced genetically modified organisms into the environment. We are now beginning to experience the dire consequences. Big Lev's got it, he's taking care of business, although he's got to take care of some jabrones along the way. We are now beginning to experience the dire consequences of this oversight as their engineered genes are spreading among and altering other organisms in the environment. Genetic evolutionists warn that if we fail to apply the lessons of our shared genetic destiny, which should be teaching us the importance of cooperation amongst all species, we threaten human existence. We need to move beyond Darwinian theory, which stresses the importance of individuals, to one that stresses the importance of the community. British scientist Timothy Lipton provides evidence that evolution is more dependent on the interaction among species than it is on the interaction of individuals within a species. Evolution becomes a matter of the survival of the fittest groups rather than the survival of the fittest individuals. In a 1998 article in Nature, Lipton wrote that rather than focusing on individuals and their role in evolution, we must consider the totality of organisms and their material environment to fully understand which traits come to persist and dominate. Lipton subscribes to James Lovelock's Gaia hypothesis that holds that the Earth and all of its species constitute one interactive living organism. Those who endorse this hypothesis argue that tampering with the balance of the superorganism called Gaia, whether it be by destroying the rainforest, depleting the ozone layer, or altering organisms through genetic engineering, can threaten its survival and consequently ours. Recent studies funded by Britain's Natural Environment Research Council provide support for those concerns. While there have been 5 mass extinctions in the history of our planet, they are all presumed to have caused by extraterrestrial events such as a comet smashing the Earth. One of the new studies concludes, just about done, that the natural world is experiencing the 6th major extinction event in its history. This time, though, the cause of the extinction is not extraterrestrial. According to one of the study's authors, Jeremy Thomas, quote, "As far as we can tell, this one is caused by one animal organism, man." Big Love's on the scene. A lot of jabrones messed a lot of stuff up. Things are being finished. New things are coming. It's going to be good. Concretely bad ones, gotta go. It's all happening. It's all happening. That's why you are needed here below the sun to change this atmosphere, to change that atmosphere. Right? What are you imagining? What are you desiring for? Better world? Right? The way you think. Gotta level up your thinking game. Gotta love big love. Practice loving big. Manage your quantum entanglements in your assignments. They're little things, getting up every day. Overcoming. And everything is about character. Not saying that we get it right. Boston C hasn't arrived, but he's left. Striving to thrive in my own lane, in my own unique dimensional reality. So I can give you some love and help you along the path with your unique dimensional reality. Well, there's 2 cells. You know any cells? Yeah. It's a good day. Today's a good day. Keep living in the now. Right? Because your past just passed 1 second ago. Where'd it go? Just went down there, went down the path. But your future just showed up. Making good choices, good decisions. The universe just delivers what you want. Now you make not so good choices, caught up in toxic, chaotic thinking and depression and anger and hatred and envy and all the stuff. Stop breathing in that dust, because all that dust is just living. It feeds off of your dust, of your insecurity. You're a juggernaut, powerful and unstoppable. You're lion-hearted. You can do anything. All right? All right, Boston C, let you go. Enjoy your weekend. Stay in the way. Stay on the path. And until next time, Boston C, up and away.